Hey there, this is Dane, and uh, what I'm doing is I'm just re-recording the start of the webinar from yesterday. I realized about halfway through that the thing wasn't recording. That, amongst many other technical glitches, made it a bit of a weird webinar, but I'm just re-recording basically the same thing from the start, and I'm just going to pair that up with the live recording from yesterday's webinar, which is uh, most of it's going to be the live thing, but just this initial start bit will be the recording, the recording from after. So let's just jump right in. The webinar is on how to use maximum return advertising tactics for photographers. So you're getting the most value for every advertising dollar you're spending. For every dollar you're spending, you want to be bringing in the most new clients, the most new revenue to your business. And that's what we're going to be working on today. A lot of photographers, they've been burnt by advertising because they've tried things like, newspaper ads or magazines or online advertising, and they haven't really had much of an idea what they were doing. And because of that, they don't get the results they want, and they give up on the advertising, and they never go back. And that means they're missing out on a huge stream of new clients and extra income. So today we're going to go over what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, and try and come up with a game plan for your business. So throughout the webinar, there's going to be a couple of photos of me from my travels. I've done a lot of travel around the world. The last photo, this was from a town called Ishlamar in Turkey, near Marmaris. And we just went there for dinner. It's a really nice little seaside town. This one is from Görem in Turkey as well, where they have these fairy chimneys in the background, and you go like hot air ballooning over those, and it's really nice. And this is the biggest golden retriever I'd ever seen, so I had to get a photo with him. He looked, he doesn't look that big in the photos, but his body was just like so wide. So that's just some interesting photos for everyone. I know you'll all appreciate, just photography basically. So who am I? My name's Dane Bergen. I've been marketing since around 2006. That's when I first got into it. And I wasn't doing much for a long time. I was kind of just figuring things out. I started working specifically with photographers in 2012. So I've been doing that now for almost 3 years. And I'm just doing mostly, I've got some courses on how to grow your photography business, and I do a lot of private coaching and consulting with photographers from around the world. So today what we're going to do is we're going to just run you over everything you basically need to know to create a successful ad, no matter if it's online through Facebook or Google or the other search engines, or if it's offline where you're doing things like newspaper ads, magazines, in shops, anything like flyers, whatever it might be. I'm going to show you what you need to think about before you create the ad, how you should create the ad, and what you should do after. So get rid of any distractions. This webinar's online. There's tons of distractions. Turn off your mobile phone, close down Facebook, email, any chat windows like Skype, get rid of that, and lift the cat off the keyboard, because I know cats, like my cat always wants to get on my keyboard for some reason, I guess because it's warm or something, but and you can never say no to a cat. So do all that stuff. Also get a pen and a paper ready. I tend to talk quite quickly because I'm passionate about this sort of stuff. It really gets me excited helping people out with their businesses. I'll try and slow it down a bit as I catch myself talking quickly, but make sure you've got a pen and a paper ready to take some notes. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we're going to talk about why you should be advertising. As I said, a lot of photographers do get burned with advertising and they kind of give up on it, and that's a good thing for you, even if it's happened to you in the past, because when you learn the right way to advertise, you get a huge leg up on your competition, because they're, so few photographers are advertising at all. They're trying to do free sources of advertising, which don't work as well. They're very unpredictable. They're very hard to track. Paid advertising is where you can really get some specific statistics and figure out where's the best places to spend money to make more money in your business. We're going to talk about where to advertise and how much you should be spending on your advertising. You could, it doesn't matter where you advertise as long as you're advertising to the right sort of people. And, you also have to be, make sure you know how much you're spending, how much you're bringing in for every dollar you're spending. So it's really a lot about tracking as well when you advertise. And how to start. I'll give you a little game plan of how you can get started advertising your photography business. So this is just a quick rundown of my story. When I was younger growing up, I knew what I wanted. My parents never had a lot of money. My mum was a primary school teacher and my dad had a small pool cleaning business. So they never made much money. They never had really any freedom. They always were kind of tied to their jobs, tied to one place, the 9 to 5 sort of thing. Oftentimes more. My mum used to bring home a lot of work from the school she worked at. And I knew that I didn't want that. They never had a lot of money to spend, even though they worked really hard and they were both hardworking people. I knew that I wanted to have enough money to, not to be a multi-millionaire, but to be able to fund the kind of lifestyle that I enjoy. I also knew that more importantly than money, I wanted to have freedom. And I think that's something you'll know too. You'll be able to relate to that from your photography business, that you want not just the money side of the business, but you want to create freedom. You don't want to be working 100 hours a week. You want to be working as few hours as you can to be able to create the lifestyle that you want. You love photography, but you love other things as well. So I'm going to show you how to build your business up to a point and then outsource some of the work so that you can, step your hours back if you want to. Not everyone wants to do that, but you can step your hours back and still grow the business. So after school, I started studying psychology. I basically did that because that's what my parents wanted me to do. A lot of people, a lot of kids, they'll do whatever their parents want them to do. You want to make your parents happy. So I went to university, started studying psychology. I chose that one because I was really interested in the mind, the way the mind worked. And I thought it was something that was going to allow me to help people in the future. And I've kind of followed that path a little bit with my business, my coaching business. But in the end, I only studied it for a couple of years, then I dropped out to do other things because I just, the way it was structured, I didn't enjoy it, and I really couldn't imagine myself being a photographer, a psychologist at the end. So after that, I went and did a whole heap of this entrepreneurial, silly things like, that young people do. I made all these weird little sites. This is one of them you can see on the screen. It's called Hypnotism Secrets. And it's the very first site I made, and it's still online today. I haven't touched it for about, 8 years, or since 2006, however long. I guess that's 8 years. Yeah. It's a terrible little site. I thought I was going to set it up. It was going to make me millions of dollars. Tons of people were going to come to the site. It was going to go crazy. And of course that didn't happen. Looking at the site, you can see it's just a silly site. And from there, I had like a roller coaster of semi-failures. I didn't really know what I was doing. I knew nothing about marketing or business. I just thought, everyone's making money online. Maybe I can set up some websites and make money online too. So I basically ended up losing a lot of money. I was going into credit card debt, and I remember taking my girlfriend at the time, who you can see in the photo now, who's now my fiance. It was our very first date. I took her out to a restaurant, and my credit cards had basically been maxed. I had no money, but I still wanted to make a really good impression, so I took her out. She ordered a meal and a drink, and I knew if I ordered something like that, the card was just going to get declined. So I had to order the cheapest thing on the menu. I can't remember what it was, and I couldn't get a drink. When I went to pay, my heart was racing because I thought, the card's going to decline. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to ask her for money. It's going to be the most embarrassing thing ever. This girl that I like's, going to hate me and all this stuff. It ended up going through, and now it's kind of a funny story, but that's kind of the point I got to. After that, I started really studying marketing. All I wanted to do was, I figured out I had to understand the business and the marketing side of it if I wanted to have any success. I couldn't just keep coming up with these silly ideas and trying to set up these little businesses that I thought were going to make millions. I had to learn how the business worked, how the marketing side worked, because I learned that the marketing of the business is the business. Bringing in the clients and the customers, that is the business of any business. So your business of photography, it's not the actual photography, it's being able to bring in those clients and then provide them with the service of photography. So to make the business successful, you've got to be able to bring those clients in. So just to emphasize the fact of how addicted I was to learning marketing, I bought a $5,000 course from this guy you can see on the screen. His name's Frank Kern, and I barely had more than a couple $100 more than that in my bank account. So at the time, I basically wiped myself out, hoping that this course was going to, show me the way, sort of thing. And it did. I'm very glad that I bought it in the end. It taught me a lot. It was called Mass Control, a really good course by Frank Kern years ago. And yeah, these are just a couple of photos of him. On the left here, this is him when I bought the course. He used to be this cool surfer guy with long hair and went surfing every day. Years later, which is now, he's this kind of businessy, well-dressed, clean-cut guy. So still a really cool guy and really knows his stuff about marketing. So if you're interested in any of that, then check out Frank Kern. Now I've created the kind of lifestyle I want. I'm able to travel a lot. I'm able to work with photographers online over the phone and help them implement the right strategies into their businesses and get the results they know they can achieve, but just need those strategies to be able to reach those goals. So at the moment, I've been traveling around Italy for the last month. I'm in Amsterdam at the moment, and in the last couple of years, I've been able to help over 600 photographers from all parts of the world doing all types of photography to grow their businesses, and I want to be able to do that with you too. So in the live webinar, there was a poll that came up here, which was, have you invested in advertising before? Off the top of my head, I think 70% said yes, 69%, and the rest said no. And we kind of worked out that the people who had invested in advertising, they'd done it, and a lot of them hadn't had the results they hoped for, and they didn't continue with it because they weren't getting those results. So I want to show you how to get ongoing results so that you can be advertising every single day, every single week, so that every $10 you spend is bringing you in $100 or $200 in extra revenue. A lot of the photographers who have advertised before, they've spent $1,000 on a newspaper ad, and they've only brought in $500, so they're down $500, or they've spent $1,000 and they've brought in $1,100, so they're only making a 10% gain on their investment, which it's not enough. You can't run a business like that. You'll be quickly going into debt and spending all your revenue. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the why, where, and how of advertising for better returns than your competition. It's almost too easy to be able to get ahead of your competition with advertising, because really no photographers are doing it. So few photographers are advertising at all. So it's kind of like the Wild West days where you just have free run of the market. You can, once you understand some of these basics of advertising, you can basically pick and choose who you want to work with. So here's a little statistic from my own consulting business. Of 93 photographers I've worked with one-on-one, private coaching clients, only 8 of those were doing ongoing advertising, which is only 7.4%, and that's absolutely nothing. Only 2 of those 8 were using online marketing, so the other 6 were doing some sort of advertising offline, where whether it be newspaper or magazines or whatever it is. And you also have to understand that those 8 out of 93 photographers who were advertising, they're in the minority of people who are actively going out searching for help with their businesses. So they came to me for private coaching. They're actively seeking out other outside help for their business. They're, statistically, they're much more likely to be the ones investing in advertising. So when you consider that only 8 of 93 were advertising consistently, of the whole population of photographers, there's going to be even a smaller percentage of that, maybe like 3% or something. So when you start advertising the right way, you're going to have a huge leg up over your competition. So here's a quick case study, and it's something from my personal life and something really recent. It happened just a couple of weeks ago, I think 3 weeks ago, when I was on holidays with my fiance and her sister, who you can see in the pink top. We were in Italy, and she's just quit her job working as a retail salesperson for MAC Cosmetics in Australia. She's quit that to go full-time working on her own makeup artistry business, where she does makeup for brides and girls going to school formals and that sort of thing. And she's quit the job so she could go full-time on it, but she couldn't figure out how to bring in the clients. So what we did is one night we sat down and I made her an ad. It took me under an hour, and by the next morning she had 3 inquiries, and consistently over the next week she's been getting about 15 a week. That was 3 weeks ago. She's still consistently getting those sorts of numbers of inquiries. Compared to before the ad, she was getting between 3 and 5 inquiries a week. So that one little ad I set her up, it's basically tripled her business overnight. And I know that sounds really impossible and corny, but when you consider that there's no incoming stream of new clients before, and I add this incoming stream through a well-crafted ad in the right place, you can see how that can quickly build a business up. So without changing anything else, without changing her pricing structure, her personality on the phone, or her follow-up process via email, or her referral process, without changing anything else, she's doubled or tripled her business basically overnight. So I want to show you how to use those sort of advertising strategies in your business. And you might think, oh, that's makeup artistry, that's not photography. It's extremely similar if you think about it. You're working with very similar clients. Wedding photographers are working with the same clients as she is. You just have to be able to do the things that I'm about to teach you in the next few slides. So here's where I'm going to switch over to the live webinar. This is where I realized in real life that I wasn't recording. So I'm going to switch over here. And what we're talking about is you need to target your prospects where they are. You can't be targeting you don't want 1 million people to see your ads if only 200 of those people are going to be interested in the photography you offer. You have to be able to somehow pinpoint those 200 people and laser, focus your ads on them, so that you're reducing your advertising spend and increasing your revenue for every dollar you spend. You want to be making the most. So this is the way to do that, by targeting your prospects where they are. So I'm going to switch you over now. There we go. Okay, so what you need to do is target your prospects where they are. You need to use Facebook, Google advertising, the search engines and that sort of things, and everything else. It's always about where the prospects are. So I want you to think about, where are your prospects? Where are they? Send them to the right place. You need to, when they click your ad, if it's online, or when they you see your newspaper ad or your magazine ad, they need to be sent to the correct place. They need to, you don't want to just send them to a random page or just a page that has a photo of you with a phone number, because that's not going to work. Something that works really well is a testimonials page. And that's what I did with my fiance's sister. We sent them to her Facebook testimonials page, and she started getting, a lot of calls from that. Because they arrive at the page, they're seeing a bunch of testimonials from people who have worked with her before. They've loved what she does, and it's like social proof. They're seeing that other people have loved it, so they assume, of course, I'm going to love it too. Reviews is another one you can do. You might have a Google account with Google reviews or a Yelp account. So you can send people to those places if you've got a lot of really positive reviews, and as long as there's a call to action, which we're going to talk about next. There's other things you can do as well. I typically wouldn't go for these couple, but you can send people to an article about you that's been in the newspaper. So if you've done charity work, or if there's been some write-up about you and your photography business in the paper, that can really boost your credibility and your authority. You can also send them to a page where it's just you talking like I'm talking now. You can have it as you being interviewed, but you're basically talking about why you're good, like why you've offer something different, why you're better than other photographers, why that prospect should be working with you. And interview style is really good if you do that. You could have someone interviewing you and asking you about your business and that sort of thing. The last thing, which is one of the most important points, is, typically you shouldn't be using your portfolio. And I know that flies in the face of probably what you've read before or what you've seen every other photographer doing, but sending people directly to your portfolio is a mistake, because they're not photographers like you. They don't understand things like composition, lighting. They don't understand the editing that might have been done in Lightroom. They don't understand sharpness or clarity or shadows or anything like that. All they're seeing is it a crisp photo? Does the posing look natural? This is what I'm talking about for most types of photography. There's obviously differences, but it's hard for them to distinguish between a good photo, a really good photo, and a great photo. They're going to basically see very similar things. So if if people are coming to your site or whatever it may be, and they're seeing your portfolio, then they're seeing another 10 photographers' portfolios, it's very difficult for them to differentiate between those photos and pick a photographer based on that. It might be easier for you to look at them and say, okay, I'm the best, that guy's second, that guy's third. For them, it's very difficult. So what they're going to do is they're going to go look at your pricing, and then they're going to go based on, who seems good and who has the cheapest price. And that's what you really don't want to happen. So don't send them to your portfolio. I know it's what everyone else is doing, but doing it this way, sending them to something like a testimonials page or a video page, is going to get you a lot better results. Of course, you still want to send them to a portfolio page maybe next, but you don't want them to see that first, because they're going to see it, then they're going to compare yours to the other photos and choose based on price, and that's the last thing you want to be doing. So that's, I can't really overemphasize that enough. I know it sounds like it might be, it just sounds silly because you've seen so many other photographers doing it and they're doing well. But I know from all the clients I've worked with that doing it differently gets much better results. So here's the third thing you want in your, your advertising series. You want to have a call to action. Now, a call to action is you just saying, you go do something, go, the next thing for you to do is call me, or the next thing for you to do is email me, and I'll give you this XYZ. As you can see in the photo I've got, this is of the page you would have registered for the webinar on, and the call to action is this big yellow button. This big yellow button that says claim my free spot now. It's a very obvious thing that I've got you to do, and that's basically your call to action. You need to have something like that where people are going. If they're going to your main website, you need to have something for them to do. So, make sure you've got the call to action. So here's the rundown of what you need to be doing. Figure out where your best prospects are. Target them with ads that grab their attention. So, if you don't want to just say, an ad like John Smith Photography. I'm the best photographer in XYZ city, and click here to view my portfolio. That's what a lot of photographers' ads are unfortunately like, and they don't work well. And because they don't work well, it puts them off advertising in the future. What you want to be doing is targeting specifics. So if you're a wedding photographer, you want to have something like getting married, question mark. I've worked with over XYZ number of brides in the last 3 years. And of that, I've got 57 testimonials or like glowing reviews. I've won XYZ award, and to see what I can do for you, click here, something like that. But it's more specific. It's targeted to brides instead of being targeted to everyone and just saying I'm the best. It's targeted to brides, and you're giving specifics about your bridal photography or your wedding photography. You can do the same thing with pet photography, boudoir, maternity, real estate. Fine, if you sell prints, you can do the same sort of thing. It doesn't matter. You can still target specifics like that. Next thing you want to do is on the page, you want to show them that you're different and better. Now, this can be done through testimonials, reviews, a video of you, as we talked about, but you want to show them why you're different, why you're better. Then the last thing is, again, to have them take action, and try and have them take action right away. Now, for example, on this webinar, the action, I provided scarcity by saying there's only 100 spots in this webinar available. So, sign up or you're going to miss out. And that's true. There were only 100 spots. You could do the same sort of thing by saying XYZ runs out this time, or I'm doing this offer until XYZ date, or, prices change at the start of the month, or whatever it may be. But something, you want them to take action as soon as possible. So now we're going to just do the last poll, and it is, what type of photography do you specialize in? I'm going to launch that now. So everyone, what type of photography do you specialize in? I've just got a couple of options there, and we'll see what it comes out at. I know you probably do a few different types. Many people do weddings, portraits, pets, whatever comes up. But this is what's your main type of photography you do. So we've nearly got the voting done, and we're looking at 35% weddings, 38 portraits, 10 fine art, 8 events, and 10 other. So it's pretty much portraits and weddings up the top, and that's what I expect. That's basically what the photographers I work with, most of them are doing portraits and weddings. It's probably one of the top, or just the more common ways of starting your photography business is to get into weddings and portraits. Obviously, things like pet photography, it's a little bit different. It can be harder, but all of them, you can get the same results. And you can use these same strategies with fine art. I know it seems like I'm constantly talking to wedding photographers or portrait photographers, but fine art, you can do the same sort of thing, selling prints. There's no different marketing strategies selling prints as there are getting clients for weddings or, family portraits, whatever it may be. So don't feel like I've left you out. So now we need to get this set up in your business. There's no point learning all this stuff, learning about, like about targeting and, making your ad, getting it seen, getting people on the right page, getting them to take action. If you're not going to do it, I can give you all the information in the world, but it needs to get done to get the results. So let's get it set up in your business. Just quickly, this is a photo of me on a rooftop. I think it's in Toledo. So it was quite cold that day, but that was when I was going around Spain, so it's really nice there too. Okay, so now the thing with photography businesses, as I was saying, is the marketing is the most important part. It's vital to have good marketing in your business if you want to be successful. I find that there's this misconception that you need to have the best gear, you have to have the best full frame camera, you have to have the best L series lenses or whatever it may be to bring in clients. So when photographers are starting out, they often spend all their money on upgrading their kit when, better cameras and better lenses, better glass, it'll get you better photos, but it's not going to get you a better business. It's not going to bring in more clients. Your prospects aren't going to say, "Oh, he's got a 1D instead of a 7D. I'm going to go with the one with the 1D. It's because it's a better camera. It's the top of the line Canon." It doesn't happen like that. And those same photographers who are spending thousands and tens of thousands on gear aren't willing to spend a couple $100 to test some advertising in their business when that's the thing that is going to grow the business in the long run. And then when the business is grown, of course, you're making six figures in that sort of price bracket. That's when you should be looking at upgrading your kit, not at the start when you've got no clients, because it's as I said, it's not the thing that brings in more clients. It's the marketing, the business strategies, and the advertising. That's what does it. So most photographers never consider that. They continue on the path of thinking better photos means more clients. Hopefully people are going to see my photos. It's going to create some sort of viral event and people are just going to flock to my business. That's obviously not what happens. It's the photographers with the best marketing that end up with the market share. And those same photographers who are spending all that money on their gear, they're the ones, constantly worrying, where's the next client going to come from? Because they just don't know. With advertising, you'll always know where your next client's coming from because you can work out statistically, okay, it costs me $10 to bring in every client that on average they spend $250 or whatever it may be. Maybe it costs $50 to bring in a $600 client. You know what your margins are, you know how much you can afford to spend, and you know that those clients are going to be coming in. So this is where you'll have the advantage, because if no photographers are advertising, you've got this free run of the marketplace. You've got a free run of ads on Facebook. You can do ads in the search engines if you do them correctly, and it's basically like the Wild West. You have the monopoly on the advertising of photography in your city if no one else is doing it, and I can tell you so few people are. So the thing is, initially getting the advertising, the marketing, and the business stuff right, then working on the photography stuff later, because it's just not necessary right at the start. As long as you've got decent gear, you're fine. So now we're going to get into the Rich Photographer Mentorship, which is what I've been working on for a while now, and it's something that I'm really excited to get going. This is just a mock-up of it. I'm going to show you a photo of it in a minute, but it's a group that I'm starting. Let me get rid of this. It's a group that I'm starting. It's going to be really small, just 20 photographers, and I'm going to take each one by the hand. Like, we're going to do group trainings, take each one by the hand and make sure every single photographer gets results in their business. Every single photographer needs to get substantial growth, and at the end of it's going to be an 8-week course. At the end of the 8 weeks, they need to have made this substantial growth in their business. Otherwise, I haven't done my job properly. Because the thing with my business is, I can get extremely good results for my private coaching clients because it's one-on-one. I can say to them, here's exactly what you need to do this week. Here's what you need to change. Here's where you're going wrong. When I sell courses like my old Rich Photographer system, which was a downloadable course, it did well for the photographers who used it, but a lot didn't use it. They would buy it, they would never use it, and they obviously wouldn't get the results. For others, it was just a fact of, they weren't confident enough to take the steps necessary to get the results. So I've come up with the idea of having this really small group, just 20 photographers, and we're going to have weekly meetings where I'm going to tell you what you need to do. We're going to do Q&As every week, and we're going to make sure you get the stuff implemented into your business the right way. You're going to learn exactly how to bring in all the clients you can handle. As I said, I can, using just some of these strategies, I can double businesses, triple businesses. And I know that's not where everyone wants to go. You may already be doing well and just need a little bit of extra help to get more clients coming in. I know not every photographer wants to have 5 photographers working under you doing shoots on the weekends or whatever it may be. You may just want to, get your business, get your personal photography shoots up to a certain number, your income up to a certain number, and just stop there. But others, they'll want to get to the multiple 6-figure level, and we can help you do that. I'll also teach you how to do that expansion if that's what you want to do, and if the time comes. You'll know what to do every step of the way to get maximum results, because I'm going to take you by the hand. I'm not just going to throw all these ideas at you and say, go at it, good luck. I'm going to take you by the hand and make sure you're using the right strategies for your business where you live at the right time. From first contact to during the shoot, or at the gallery if you're, selling prints, to after you've parted ways. You need to have the right strategies in place every step of the way to get the best results. I can show you these amazing advertising strategies, or I can show you this amazing referral system. But if you can implement the right strategies each step of the way, that's when you can get really amazing results. So it's a combination of these strategies that leads to fast and, most importantly, sustained growth. With the economy the way it has been in the last few years, it's been quite tough for photographers. A lot of people are having the idea that photography is just not necessary, and that's kind of getting into photographers' heads. It's kind of putting them in a state where they're not conducive to creating good long-term business. So I'm going to show you how to implement strategies that mean, no matter what the economy does around you, your business will stay steady, it will stay strong. You'll always know where clients are coming from. You won't have to worry about what's going on around in the economy. Here's a photo of the system. This is just something that was taken by the printer. You'll get all the materials mailed to your door. It takes 5 to 10 days, I think it is, depending on where you live. It's shipped from the US. There's 7 DVDs, 5 CDs, and 2 manuals. That big white one it's over 300 pages. So it's a big course, and I have to give you time to go through it before we start the mentorship. So as I said, it's going to be an 8-week mentorship where we're going to meet online, in a meeting room online, similar to this, a little bit different. And it's going to take between 1 and 2 hours each week, where I'm going to show you what you should be doing. I'm going to talk to everyone, and we're going to brainstorm ideas for everyone's business. I'm going to show you exactly how you should be marketing this week, exactly what referral strategies you should be doing, exactly, how you should be following up with your clients. Everything, every step of the way, I want to take you by the hand and show you, as if you were one of my private consulting clients, how you should be doing it. So the mentorship is going to start on August 10th. That gives us enough time to have the course mailed out. It gives us enough time for you to go through it, which is going to take about a week. Might take, a little bit longer depending on your work schedule, but it's going to give time for shipping, time for you to go through it, and then time for me to follow up with you about a quick survey of where your business is at and get familiar with each of the 20 photography businesses. Now, it doesn't matter if you've been in business for 10 years or if you're just starting out, you can still join the mentorship and it will still be just as valuable to you at any stage you're at. Even if you're at the six figure level, we can take you beyond that with these strategies. It's often just small tweaks that really help businesses uh, that have been, going for a long time. Okay, so again, I've now been working on the recording, and I've realized that at this point in the webinar, the video cut out and the audio stayed on because of internet issues. So I'm having to re-record that bit as well, but I'm just gonna, I'll do it as closely as I can to how it was. Obviously, there's not going to be the interaction with the audience like there was on the live webinar, but I'll try and recreate it as best as I can. Okay, so next up with the Rich Photographer Mentorship, usually here you'd see a bunch of really tacky like testimonials overhyping the product. Obviously, this is something I haven't run before. I can't give you a bunch of testimonials for something that hasn't existed in the past. So I've just put this stock image from Shutterstock.com on here just to overemphasize, what you would usually see. This really doesn't need testimonials. It's such a small, intimate group of 20 photographers with my list of over 10,000 and my Facebook group with just under 50,000. These 20 spots aren't going to last that long. For the next group, I really want there to be some amazing testimonials, because in this first group, I'm going to ensure that each of those 20 photographers gets my personal guidance to build their business to where they want it to be. Then at the end of that, after they've had their 8 weeks of mentorship and they've got those, remarkable results in their businesses, that's when I want to start doing some video testimonials where we, do a little interview type thing. I'd really love to get your testimonial for that if you want to join up to the mentorship. Okay, so obviously everything I do comes with a guarantee, and I think everything you buy in your business should. Just as, electronics, everything like that should always come with a guarantee. If it doesn't, you should be worried. So this comes with a full 365-day guarantee. If at any time you decide it wasn't a good investment, it didn't get the results that I'm talking about here, send it back and I'll give you a full refund of the money. Having this 365-day guarantee gives you time to use the strategies in your business and see that they really do give you the results that I'm talking about. I don't want to just give you a 30-day guarantee and, then 30 days down the track when, not a ton of stuff might have happened, you say, oh, it didn't work. A year gives you surplus time to see that everything's working. The stuff that I'm going to show you, it'll be working, it'll be in place within a month. It'll be working for you. So that's why I can offer such a strong guarantee, because I know I'm going to get results for your business. So here's what you're going to get. Firstly is the entire Rich Photographer training system. Now that's the 7 DVDs, the 5 CDs, and the 2 manuals. On the DVDs, you're going to learn stuff like, you're going to learn everything you need to about Facebook advertising, everything about Google AdWords and the search engines advertising. You're going to learn how to create pages that bring prospects in and turn them into new clients. You're going to learn everything you need to build the business. And it's not just that you're going to get that information, but with the 8 weeks of mentorship, I'm going to show you how to use it properly. So the training system alone is $997 of value. The mentorship, 8 weeks at 1 to 2 hours a week, and maybe we'll do two sessions a week if we hit walls and we need to break it up into a couple of sessions. We'll do whatever it takes to make sure everyone's getting results in their business. So just going off my private consulting prices, which are $350 an hour at the moment, you're looking at around $3,000 for a group session of that amount of time. Also, you're going to get email access to me for the entirety of the mentorship. Plus, you're going to get up to 3 10 to 15 minute quick Skype calls with me. So if you're creating an ad and you're getting confused, you don't know what to do, email me. We'll set up a Skype session where you can just say, hey Dane, this is what I'm looking to do. Can you just have a quick look at it? I'll go in, have a look at it, show you what you're doing right, show you what could be changed, and then that'll make it easy for you, make it so that you're ensuring that everything's getting done right. You're not going to have questions unanswered. So that's a total value of $4,297. But I know not everyone can afford a course like that. It's a big investment. So what I've done is set it to an installment plan. This month, right now, it's only going to be $297. Then you're going to pay $247 each month for the next 3 months, totaling just over $1,000. I've priced it that way so that everyone can get in right now on the initial installment. Then your future installments are going to be getting paid with the extra profits you're making from your business. That makes it so that everyone can see that the results are happening before they're paying the future installments. Invest right now to secure your membership as one of the 20 photographers. There's only going to be 20 allowed into this group. I've chosen 20 because I know I can help 20 people. I can help 20 photographers very personally, as if they were all my private coaching clients. And any more than that, and it'd be difficult for me to keep track of everyone's progress and what they're doing. So visit richphotographermentorship.com and just scroll right down to the bottom. There'll be a big orange link where you can click order and get the system and become part of the mentorship. If you arrive to the page and the link isn't working, then that means the program will be full already. So sorry if you're watching this recording and you're not able to sign up because it's full already. It will be opened up again down the line, but I'm not sure what date that will be, and the price will probably be significantly increased because obviously those testimonials and the results from this first group will be coming through. So on the live webinar, I offered everyone who joined within the next 20 minutes a bonus one-on-one consultation with me for 40 minutes. Obviously, that 20-minute period has expired. You're watching the replay now. So, I didn't want to just leave you with nothing. So what I'll do, if you order from this replay, if you're watching this replay of the webinar now and you order, I'll still give you a bonus. I'll give you 20 minutes consultation, and that's enough for us to cover everything. Obviously, I talk very quickly. I can't help it. It's just when you're passionate about things, you tend to talk quickly. So what we'll do is at the end of your 8-week mentorship, once you've had time to go over the materials, once we've had 8 weeks of solid progress on your business, right at the end, we'll set up a 20-minute consultation, one-on-one, just you and I, over the phone. We'll talk about where your business is at that time, where you want it to go, and the strategies you should be looking to implement over the next 6 to 12 months to get you to where you want to be. So visit richphotographermentorship.com, and remember, this is limited to just 20 photographers. I'll be making sure that each photographer makes significant progress in their businesses, because I don't want to just get 15 out of 20 photographers extremely good results. I want to get 20 out of 20. I want to prove to everyone that these strategies work, no matter where you live, no matter if you're just starting your photography business or if you've been in business for 20 years, since back in the days of film cameras. I want to prove that this works for wedding photographers just as it does for people with galleries who do fine art photography. I want to show that no matter what kind of photography, where you live, or what your goals are, that these strategies can be implemented in your business to create remarkable results. So I'm going to ensure that each photographer gets help just as if we were one-on-one coaching, and each week going over your specific business. I'm going to make sure those results are had by every photographer in this mentorship. So go to Rich Photographer Mentorship and scroll all the way down to the bottom. You'll see the big orange links, and you can click order from there and just go through. Once I see those, your order come through, I'll mark your name down as having the 20-minute consultation bonus at the end, where we'll go over everything to do with your business and where you want to get it to. So now what we did in the live webinar is I did some Q&A, and I'll go over a couple of those questions really quickly, just in case you're one of the question askers who were in the webinar and you want to, you forgot what I said to answer your question. So one of the questions was, somebody said they've tried Facebook ads and it hasn't really worked for them. They've ended up getting a few likes, clicks, but they've got no sales. And the reason we kind of figured out for that was they were advertising in the sidebar and also the news feed. You should not be advertising in the sidebar. It doesn't work well. In the news feed, you also need to check in a thing called Power Editor. When you're in your Facebook ads, you'll see Power Editor down the side. You can click that. Then there's an option in there to turn off you can turn off viewing on mobile phones and tablets. You don't want people on mobile phones and tablets to see your ads because they won't convert as well. You won't get as many inquiries. So turn that off. The other thing is who's seeing your ad. You need to make sure it's extremely specific. So for example, if you're a wedding photographer, obviously men and women get married. Obviously people of all ages get married, from 16 right up to 100. People have been known to get married, but that's not your target market. You want to be honing in on the most ideal prospect, not just anyone who could get married, but you want to be honing in on the most ideal prospect. So that might be females living in your city, aged around 25 to maybe 40, and who are engaged. Now that's a very specific section of the market. So you want to make sure your ad is refined down as small as possible, so that you're just advertising to this small pool of people who are certainly interested in what you've got to offer. Another question was, what do we have? It was a lot of stuff about Facebook advertising. I covered most of that just there. Then we had, I'm just trying to think, I can't really remember. Yeah. That's basically it. I just kind of went over a lot to do with Facebook advertising, and obviously in the Rich Photographer Mentorship, there's a whole DVD on Facebook advertising. It's exactly what I do in my business, or what I've helped other people do, and it's also what I've helped, my fiance's sister with weeks ago, where she was able to basically triple her business overnight due to a simple Facebook ad I set up for her. And that's the sort of thing we can do in your business too, no matter what type of photography you're doing. So remember, visit richphotographermentorship.com. There's only 20 spots available. I'm going to make sure your business gets taken to the next level. Make sure you get the results that you deserve in your business. And, at the end of it, I want to create, some testimonials from members of the group to show to the next intake of people to the mentorship that this stuff really works. It works quickly and it works well. Okay, that's basically it. Just visit that link now to get your bonus. And I'm sorry guys about the all the technical glitches, the timing error of the webinar yesterday. Sorry it obviously didn't record and I had to re-record some of this stuff. Hopefully the next one won't have all these technical issues. Fingers crossed, but technology, you just never know. So visit Rich Photographer Mentorship and get your course now. I really hope to see you in there, and I really look forward to working with you and taking your business to the next level.